Talk more style. Give me that. No. Give me that.
Okay. All right. Okay. Whoa. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be building a backup 48RE. So you guys saw us build that one for the 07 originally, and we've kind of refreshed it a few times. Then you guys saw us go through the 05s trans to refresh that one after UCC. And now we are taking and building a 48RE out of this core right here. This is a two-wheel drive core, TTVA case. Hopefully it's got good guts in it. The one I had originally bought turned out to be a pile of junk, so a little bit more expensive to buy one from the company, but it is what it is. And then we have our four-wheel drive tail housing. Now this tranny's main purpose in life is to be a backup for either truck. So both trucks are kind of set up the same. This one should be pretty easy. Bunch of billet shafts, bunch of clutches, and maybe a billet drum or two. So let's get this one torn down and see what's usable. Never a good sight when you flip the core over and there's water coming out of it. So can't wait to get this one stripped down. I'm gonna get you guys set up here so you can watch this thing come apart. Okay, so we got it all in the sub-assemblies. Input shaft, third gear drum, forward drum. Here's your overdrive portion. Here is your planetary gear set, which I'm excited to see 6-pinion in here. Everything looks okay. Got a 48 pump in there. I didn't see anything too alarming. The low reverse drum looks okay. So we're gonna convert this. Basically, I'm gonna rip all these apart and get them all to be ready to be cleaned. I got the main case stripped all the way out. On the time lapse, you guys will see I didn't use a spring compressor for either of the servos. If it's stock, it's not a problem. If you start to upgrade them, I would recommend the proper tools. So we'll get that ready to go. This overdrive case actually looks pretty clean. I'll probably pressure wash it anyway. And then since I am doing this partly as a company teardown so a customer can get their core, back, I'm gonna go ahead and clean the tail shaft of the two-wheel drive off. And then we just gotta start rotating stuff through the parts washer and getting it ready to go back together. As you guys can see here, quite the mess, but the overdrive brakes look okay. Not too hot, nothing like that. So we do need to save this reaction plate, but the rest of this stuff is pretty much garbage. Okay, so upon further inspection, clearly the direct drum, which has second gear apply on it, has seen much better days. And David came in to lend a hand, and I was like, hey, David, is it normal for this snap ring to be blue? And he said, nope, not really. So let's see what awaits for us here. Actually, not that bad. I wonder if it got hot before, David. Oh, never mind, found it. Spoke too soon. So it got the reaction plate hot. Wow. And then you guys can see here, the clutch is actually quite warped. And then here's the damage to those steels. So if I had to guess, what do you think, David? Maybe a bind with the way the directs are smoked. I mean, it got the reaction plate hot. And then you got the drum. So I wonder if it bound up, I think.
Possibly.
They almost look like choline steels. Like this one, kind of.
Oh, jeez, it does. He's stepped up.
Yeah, so that was probably the death of this one. Customer probably had a flare shift or a bind, which is fine. I don't even think we're gonna use this drum anyway. I don't know. We'll figure it out. And then we got to pull the pump apart and then make sure our planetary gear set is good. We're gonna get this drum cleaned up, stock drum. We have a choice between a slightly damaged Miraging intermediate or just putting a brand new one in there. Don't really care. And we're gonna use some used shafts on this because again, this is a backup. And over here we have I bet you that's a Sonics rear billet drum, a TCS fat input, and a Goren billet bevel spring. You guys have seen us use those before. Really nice kit. We sell them. We use them a lot. 10 out of 10 would recommend. My opinion on the Goren.
Yeah, they seem to hold great.
Okay. Hey, also shout out to Pierce Performance. Look at those hoodies. Kind of
And
disappointed.
they're like the super fuzzy ones on the inside.
Oh, I'm
feels
bummed.
like-
Guys, I've always told you guys the truth, so I'm gonna let these guys do the masterminding. I'm gonna probably look like a stud on camera, just stacking this together like I know what I'm doing. I'm gonna let them do all the measuring. I'm gonna go ahead and do the nasty work, which is prepping the case. So we have a heated pressure washer. I'm gonna get this two-wheel drive housing cleaned and get this one cleaned off so then we can put it in the parts cleaner. So we have a nice case to paint. Now, some of you might not have the luxury of a heated pressure washer. Regular pressure washer works good too, and a lot more time with like a wire brush and stuff. But we got this one pretty much presentable. Got this one cleaned up so we can put it away. And now we start the case mods. our case with our lube mods done, and then you guys saw we riveted the sprag, and then we dropped a roll pin in right there. The only thing I didn't get on camera, we take a little bit of very fine sandpaper and clean out this bore. This one actually wasn't in that bad of shape, but we did that, got it all cleaned out, blown out, and this part is ready to go. Murr got us all stacked up with our input shaft. We had some issues with it wasn't stacked right, so he's got that done. Again, Goren billet Belleville spring. We checked this overdrive housing, everything's good. We're working on stacking this drum out right now. This core actually had a billet piston, so we're gonna try and use that. And then Myers saved the Miraging intermediate. You guys remember the damage, and he got it all cleaned up. So we're gonna reuse this shaft. So ideally, I'll swap this out for the one I have, swap this out for the one I have. We got to reuse this, so I actually don't have to buy any billet shafts, just clutches and stuff. And we get to save this drum, which will help save us a little bit of money. Again, this is a backup. And now we got a couple more small things to knock out. David, you went through the pump, right? Yeah, so this is a 48 pump. David put a new seal in. Obviously, you guys can see this has a machined stator, and this does have the snapper or the seal down there. We did swap this. This is a 47 pump stator that we mod. And then for those of you guys that have trannies and they run good, and then about 50 miles they start to leak from the front area, like this bell housing area, what we see is the flex plate isn't on the crank straight, so the torque converter starts to wobble as it spins. It'll eat through this lip seal, and then there's a bushing down here, which is this bushing right here. This bushing will get hammered by the snout of the torque converter. So it's one of those things, when you have a converter that doesn't go on straight, generally it'll wipe out this seal and that bushing down there. So you do have to pull the tranny out to fix it. Again, just make sure your flex plate's on straight. From here, we got some drum maintenance, and I'll show you guys the servos. This is a PDD second gear servo. This is our PDD revised low reverse servo for the bigger power trucks. It's got an extra seal on top of an extra seal, so it doesn't cock in the bore, with the full manual valve body setup springs, or yeah, from Transgo probably. And we're slowly getting there. I think we might actually wrap this up in record time, probably about 5-6 hours, and it's mostly because we had 3 people working on it. Prep these for TIG welding, and we use a little bit of brake clean. You ready?
Not yet. Oh, dude, you gotta do it with style, okay?
Hold on.
That's happy, do it. Oh, no, we're talking more style. Give me that. No, give me that.
Okay, all right. Okay, whoa. I struggle with this one. It's a little dirtier too. And then this one we weld all the way. I'm actually pretty happy with that one. That one welded really well. There's only one pit right there, but this is how you weld the ring gears. Okay guys, now it is time to start stacking our planetary gear set. This is your rear ring gear. This is your front ring gear. This is also, yep, you're right, my bad. This is your front, this is your rear. This is the one that guys can strip the splines out of, and then the front planet is the other one that gets destroyed. So I'm gonna go finish grabbing all these parts, and this is a rollerized planetary gear set. So you guys can kind of see the machine that. There's some machining on the planetaries themselves. And let's get it stacked up on this brand used Miraging Intermediate. Okay, so we got our servos in, we got our selective spacer for the intermediate shaft, we got our overdrive piston spacer right here, and everything looks good. We just measured it. You guys have seen us do it before. This is a tool we got from TCS. You can get them on eBay as well with this bar. You measure to this tool to get your intermediate selective, and you measure a few points around this overdrive unit here to get your overdrive piston spacer. And from here, you guys saw us put this together. Now we're gonna go ahead and stack out the main case. First thing I'm gonna do, put the overdrive piston in, spacer, and then throw the overdrive on. checking the transmission end play, which if Meyer built this right, we should be fine. So on the 47, 48s REs, the output shaft sticks out. So the two boards that you have, you just basically go here, rock it. So we got about 30 on the there. You're gonna reset it. And then we used to do it with pliers. Now we do it with pry bar, which is, I find, far more effective. You just go right here in between the sun or the reaction shell. I think you missed the mark on that one there, huh?
The whole point, you just kind of figure it out and go from there.
Wow. You got a lot in the rear.
You're at 30, it's fine.
So we're at 85. So pump spacer.
So I wouldn't go any thinner on the input, or thicker on the input. So what was your pump? Do you remember?
120.
120. So just go to a fat and a 140.
Fat Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, they'll give you 50. They'll give you 70, and then
Yeah.
put it on 50.
Get the freaking splinter out. You realize you had the wrong pump spacer. And Meyer comes over and corrects you. So that should be it. But I'm not super confident. So we're gonna check it one more time. Just put it together.
Is this the from this thing?
And slam it. All right, now we got our pump seal on with our spacer correct, new oil pump, new pump seal on the outside, and then new washers on these bolts. I just kind of lightly uggy duggy these. Ooh, got a little straight away there. And then we give these a torque. From here, we're just waiting on Meyer, working on the valve body. I'll show you guys that in the test stand. We'll get this valve body thrown in here. We'll put a bad pan on it, paint it, and that'll be a wrap. So we got the valve body on the test stand. Which one do I need to look at? Special?
The one that's leaking like a mother.
Doesn't sound very good.
No, there are issues. It doesn't have any gears.
Oh.
Wow. That's a special kind of effed up.
Okay, so Murr just knocked out our spare valve body. And hopefully the pressures are good.
Let's see.
What do you think this is gonna do, Murr?
A very educated guess, I would say approximately about 240, 250. Boosted about it's gonna be regulated at like 160 in first, and reverse should be just a smidge above 2, probably 220, 230.
Dang, dude, I would love to know your ways. Maybe not that part, but. You have a future in NASCAR. All right, and in case he hits park, we're gonna go stand on this side.
Yeah, that's happened once tonight already.
So in park, this thing shoots out just a ton of fluid.
Yep.
And we're gonna be looking over here.
So that's effectively that's the pressure in third.
Okay.
You can
On
see
this
it.
white gauge.
That's TVing it, and that's regulated at 150. Doesn't matter what you do.
And this is to help me spool on the converter and out.
Or something.
Yep.
And then this is your
Boosted.
boosted.
Boosted with TV. 225. We got our paint job done. This was all the spray paint we had in town. I don't know if there's like a spray paint shortage or what, but we got it all done up. Looking good. That TCS fat shaft just staring you right in the face. We got some high flow fittings. New park neutral safety indicator. Park neutral indicator. Ugh. And we'll throw the valve body in. and she should be ready to rock and roll. And last but not least, we have one of these beautiful PPE pans here. This is the double deep. I run them on everything, and we do use the filter extension. Our logic on the filter extension, I know it goes against some other people. That's fine. Our thing is, if the tranny gets low on fluid or anything like that, the filter pickup, instead of being up here, moves down here. The other thing is, if you leave the line really hard, or dirt drag, sled pull, any of that, if the filter's lower in the pan and the fluid does slosh backwards, because the filter's so low, it can't cavitate either. I do understand that there are some issues with people not getting these sealed correctly. Honestly, I don't know what to tell you other than just follow the instructions and you should be good. But that's why we run the deep pan with the extension bracket, and then obviously we finish that off with the older style 47. And this is it, guys. For those of you guys that were looking for a how-to, we've already done that. If you guys scroll all the way down, it was a video that we did when we first started. It's like an hour and 30 minutes long. That walks you through step by step. You guys kind of saw us do some of the case mods, riveting the sprag, roll pinning the sprag. You guys got to see a little bit more of the rollerized planetary gear set. We weld the ring gears as well. This one, again, TCS Fat in a repaired Miraging Intermediate. Huge thank you to Meyer for getting that one fixed. Saved us about $1,000. And then a TCS 29 spine fat output. GPZ clutches throughout this thing, a flex band, a factory modified third gear drum with a billet piston. I got lucky, this core had one. And it has a billet rear piston or forward clutch piston, Belleville spring from GoRend. And I think that's it. Other than that, guys, this is kind of a complete replica of the 07's tranny. This is almost a complete replica of the 05's minus the non-billet direct drum. And this one is our true spare. The spare that we had before was for the 05. Whether we put it in the 05 or something else, we needed a dedicated spare for either truck. So now either truck goes down, throw this in there, and we're ready to go. We got plenty of converters. And hopefully this one serves us really, really well. Huge thank you to Meyer for rollerizing the planets, helping me through this again, and doing the valve body work. I appreciate it. And I know that this one will be solid. And I'm really happy to have a dedicated backup. Hopefully you guys like this video. Drop a comment down below. Subscribe if you are not already. And as always, guys, I will catch you on the next one.